Howdy, y'all. Very cold bearded piper here, coming to you from snowy North Carolina. If I sit back here and it focuses a little bit, you can see up on the hill here, we got some good snow. I think we're supposed to get about 1 to 3 inches today. And so I am all kinds of bundled up. This Arizona boy is not used to this weather. I've got a long sleeve camo shirt underneath a long sleeve flannel, underneath this very thick and warm coat. And after seeing Onion's video the other day of him talking about how cold his legs were, I decided I wasn't going to do that. So I put some sweatpant joggers on underneath my jeans, and I'm pretty toasty warm. I'm not wearing any gloves right now, but other than that, I'm pretty comfortable out here. Here I am smoking my Missouri Meerschaum. I don't know if this was called their Cowboy at one point. I could not find it on their website, so it's not a current pipe. At least it's not currently listed on their site. It's similar to their Patriot in style and size, but it is a little different, so I got to find out exactly which model this was after. But this is one of my seconds that I picked up the other day. And it's a nice little smoker. And I'm smoking some Ashton Winding Road. We've been having all kinds of fun watching the snow come down. I mean, it's still actively coming down right now. And a little later today, it's supposed to turn into a wintry mix coming down. So that should be fun. Today I am going to be responding to 2 GAWs from a couple of different YTPC members. First one is Glum Chum Piper, Matt. I know you're a little over 200 subscribers now, which is pretty exciting. And so I saw you were doing a GAW and said, you know what, I'll respond. But I don't have enough time to make videos for every single GAW, so I'm combining these two. So I'm doing one for Glum Chum Piper here, and then the other one's for Jason, NW Piper. They're both doing GAWs. I think Jason's up over 850 something subscribers now, 860, something like that. I think last night he was actually 891 when I watched his video. But I figured I'd respond to you guys in this video because you guys both covered some questions that I really liked the idea of answering. Gotta relate. Good stuff. So Matt, Glum Chum Piper, you asked 2 questions, and the first one was, while smoking a pipe with someone, what is the best advice that you have shared or has been shared with you? And I would have to say, I was sitting with my dad at one of our Arizona Pipe Club meetings, one of the times he came out to visit us, and we were just sitting there talking. Not much about anything serious at first, but then I got to talking to him about my future and, you know, what am I called to do? What am I supposed to do? You see, I haven't really found my calling. I haven't figured out what exactly it is that God has a specific plan for, you know, in terms of my life. And he said, to be honest with you, I don't know that he calls us all to do something specific, in that some people have a very obvious and specific calling, you know, to do pastorship, to be in certain career fields. And then he said in other times, he gives us the skill set and ability to do what we may want to do a wide variety of things. And he says, honor me in whatever you do. And sometimes that's what we're called to. And that was kind of eye-opening, because growing up, I had always thought, God has a specific calling for every single person, and if you're not in that specific calling, you're out of line with what God wants for your life. And well, my dad said, I don't believe that that's the case necessarily. And it was a really comforting conversation, because it showed me that whatever I'm doing, if I'm honoring God and I'm taking care of my family, can't ask for much more. So that was a good piece of advice he gave me, is to not focus on what my specific calling is, but just to focus on God and honoring Him. And your second question was I believe something like your favorite song, your favorite song that moves you, something like that. Yeah, mine's going to be a good old classic that just about everyone knows, and that's Amazing Grace. Every time we sing that in church, every time I hear it on the radio, I tear up, man. It's a good old classic, talking about God's amazing grace for us, that while we were still sinners, God still loved us. And it's just, it's one of those songs that, when I sing to my kids, my son, when I put him to sleep, there are a handful of songs that I sing, and that's one of them that I sing to him every night, because I hope he kind of grasps the magnitude of what that song is talking about when it comes to God's grace and, loving and forgiving us despite how wretched we are. So those are my answers to your questions, and I hope that fit the criteria. And Matt, I'm excited to see your channel continue to grow. And I look forward to continuing in watching your videos as they come out. Jason, N.W. Piper, you had some fun questions too. And I have to try and remember all three of them. I know one of them was about age. One of them was a revelation. What would change the world or be good? So your first question was something along the lines of, what would be good for the world, or would change the world in a magnificent way, or something along that line. What would be good for us to see in the world? I have to say my answer to your question, however it was worded, is Jesus. Man, I would pray every day that everyone would come to know Jesus, that everyone would know the love that God has for us, and to be able to submit to Him, to be able to say, you know what, God has our best interests at heart. God wants to be in perfect relationship with us, and that's why He sent Jesus. And man, the world would be a much better place if everyone were able to come to know Jesus. That's my answer to your first one. Second one was like, what would be the ideal age if you had to stay one age for the rest of your life, or something like that? And I gotta say, I haven't lived much life yet. I'm 26. And I've had some good years and I've had some bad years. If I had the opportunity, I'll say this. From what I've lived so far, probably like 23 or 24. Those were some good years for me. Excuse me. I met my wife around that time, and I made some mistakes, but that was a huge growing season for me. It's where I came to recognize a lot of my mistakes, a lot of the way, some of the things that I was doing, the way I was living. I shouldn't have been doing that. So it was a huge growth spurt for me, spiritually and relationally with my wife. It helped me prioritize what's really important in life, what matters. So, but I would like to say like 40 or 50, because at that point, I've got a family, I've got kids, you know. I mean, I've got a kid now, but by that point, I'm probably pretty much done making kids. We've got our full family, whatever that may look like. And I don't know. I know I'll be wiser at that. I hope I'll be wiser at that point than I am now. But I would say that would probably be either those two age ranges would be my answers so far. But I guess it really depends. I need to live more life to find out. And then your third question. What is a revelation we've discovered about ourselves that has had a big impact on our lives, or something to that effect? And specifically over the last couple of years, I have learned that I can't do it alone. I cannot live life alone. Not only were we created to be in relationship and fellowship with one another, but I specifically can't do life alone. There are a lot of obstacles that we face on a day-to-day basis. And if I had to do it alone, I would have quit a long time ago. Man, God showed me in high school that I couldn't do everything alone, and that I needed to rely on Him to get through the challenges that life poses. And then as my relationship with Him grew, He also showed me that I need my friends and family around me, my church family, to be able to lean on at times when things are hard. You know, we've been through some hardships. We've lost family. We had the scare with Penny in the hospital. You know, if I had to face all that stuff alone, I don't know what I would have done. I would have been scared poopless, you know? And so that's the major revelation that I've come to the conclusion of trying to practice or take to heart, is that I can't do it alone, and I wasn't designed to do it alone. To face life alone, to face Satan and the demons alone. That's not a me thing. It's a we. We face them together. So those are my 3 answers to your questions. Hopefully that helped, or that fit the criteria you were looking for. And congratulations again on your 800 something subscribers, almost 900. That's pretty impressive, my man. No surprise though. I know this video was a little bit longer, so hopefully y'all who watched it enjoyed it. I'm going to leave a link to both of their GAWs down in the description. Let me repeat that. I'm going to leave a link to both of their GAWs in the description. Hopefully that was a little bit more audible. You're able to understand it a little better. I'm going to finish this bowl, and then I'm going to go warm up inside with some hot cocoa. Y'all be blessed. Y'all stay warm. And follow God. Trust in Him. And I think that pretty much sums it up. Y'all take care.